Welcome back to Gaming with Marty. We are here with preseason week 3 of Madden 2024. Going to go through a few key things concerning our team here, rookie focus, check out a little bit of our staff members and also our roster. But for the most part, we're going to get right into the game. Stay tuned. One of our key components last game, getting a +4 upgrade to his play recognition, so we'll definitely take that. Week 3, facing off against the Miami Dolphins. 2 Southern Florida teams going head-to-head. Going against Tua as our QB, and then one of their main players is Christian Wilkins. One great thing that they brought back to Madden 24 is the mini games from back in the day that we all probably played a lot more than we actually played full games of Madden. So we're going to do this rushing attack with Tank Bigsby, try to increase his score as he's one of our rookies that we're got high hopes for. So with the resurfacing of those mini games, definitely probably will spend a lot of time doing that. And it looks like you can do a couple mini games per locus player that you have lined up, and then Just like previous years of the franchise mode, you can also do a quick sim of your training seminars, so you can go ahead and skip right down onto your upgrading players.
We got London on the whole club selling out of here to doing stadium.
The third and final week of the preseason is here. A fourth exhibition game is a thing of the past. It's the Dolphins and the Jaguars, next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. But tonight we've got a preseason matchup, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you, and now we sit, CD, at week 3 of the preseason, and this is the one that the coaches probably think is pretty valuable, right?
Certainly. This is the dress rehearsal. This is the one where your starters are going to play. You might even game plan a little bit more than you do with a normal preseason game. And then
definitely looking forward to this last preseason matchup before we get the regular season underway. Get a better idea of how our second and third string players are going to come along.
Two teams on opposite ends of the Sunshine State. The Jags and Dolphins are underway. Jamal Agnew now to return it. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Well, the Jaguars ready to go on offense for the first time, and they're led by the former #1 pick in the draft. In his third season now, Charles, Trevor Lawrence.
Last year, we got the Trevor Lawrences. So many tapped to be the savior of the Jaguars. He broke 4,000 yards for the first time and threw 25 touchdown passes and guided his team to the playoffs. This young man, he's been good since the first time he picked up a ball in Youth League. They expect nothing less from him again this season.
A man coming off an 1,100-yard campaign last year. Here's Travis Etienne. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Meanwhile, Lawrence's throw into the hands of Kirk. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Defensively going forward, they're going to have to watch out for him on plays just like that. It's a drag route across the field, and they're trying to free him up and let him run after the catch. That won't be the last time we see that play, and it works there to pick up a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's second down.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
On second down, Etienne once more. They're able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Here's Lawrence to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The Dolphins do
so close, but yet so far.
You know, last week I remember asking you, what would an offensive coordinator be looking for week 2 of the preseason? Now we're in week 3. Defensive coordinator-wise, what's he looking at?
For the most part in preseason, you're playing pretty basic stuff, pretty vanilla defenses. You're looking for guys that play with abandon, that just go out and and make plays. You kind of let their athletic ability take over in order for you to notice them.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. Now Tua Tagovailoa gets set to lead this Dolphins offense for the first time.
Injuries overshadowed a great season from Tua last season. He led a Miami passing game that was one of the best in the league, and even more importantly, took them to the postseason for the first time in 6 years. That jump they were looking for from it, it absolutely occurred.
Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double-team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Tagovailoa going to try and throw on 3rd down. He is going to find Hill here. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first. When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want to feel like it's the end of the world.
I see they trying. I see they're just trying to get their run game up and going, and it's seeming to be working out a little bit for them right now.
Ball placed at the 45 for 2nd and 5. Tua going to throw. Throw caught by A-Chain. Down inside the 10. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Devon A-Chain, 45 yards. And the Dolphins are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield of the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at the play sheet, and you wonder if they're absorbing it.
No worries. Trevor about to come out and shine, unless Jamal Agnew returns his kick again like he did last game.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Lawrence, now this is ETN on the draw. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll make it 4th down after a loss.
We're going to go for it here on 4th down. It's preseason. Let's see what we could do on our 4th down setups.
Loss of yardage ugly.
So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. And they'll try and throw for it with Lawrence. Being chased out left. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with it.
So that was a major fail, and they didn't even let me throw it away, which sucks a little bit, but hey, it's preseason.
And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. Tua now on 1st down. Throwing middle, and it's complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it'll be second down.
I think that was a pretty good read right there. They caught him in zone defense and went to the hitch. And because they're in zone, that creates a natural space between the defenders and the receiver, able to get it to him quickly and let him get upfield.
And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Trying to get the edge there. The defense just too quick to the ball.
That's what we call total team defense there. Can't get to the edge, no place to move it inside, and then allows everyone else to run to the ball and create a big-time tackle for no gain for the offense.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Brandon, some of those windows that throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Just reminded me, welcome to the new Jaguars Stadium, no longer TIAA Bank, but more of a futuristic Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. Oh man, I thought Agnew was about to get busy.
27-yard line. The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. They're coming off a 4th down gamble that last drive that backfired CD, but really not as badly as it could. Their defense held up and only gave up 3 points.
And what they want to do is play off the momentum the defense gave them. Only giving up the 3 points in that situation after they failed on 4th down. Now they want to make it pay off. They want to pay homage to the defense and have their own drive pay off in points for themselves.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 8. Looking to throw, Lawrence. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. From the gun on 3rd down, Lawrence. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes.
You get when you got one defensive end versus 2 linemen.
This is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
A Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. Watch out for Hill on the return.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So a tug on the face mask, and that's going to cost him 15 yards.
And sometimes it'll go unnoticed, but that one, pretty obvious for everyone to see.
A give up the middle to H.A. Darius Williams in there to make the tackle.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to pound that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Jacksonville's pass defense holds serve. 4th down.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So the big return had them fired up, but in the end, the offense stalls out. They only muster 3.
Yeah, the excitement was there after the return, but they didn't move the ball at all after that. They didn't even get a 1st down.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
On second down, a run with Etienne. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll run with Etienne. And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports.
We got -5 passing yards. That's horrible.
Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Lawrence will throw. Throw right side is going to be caught by Kirk. Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Lawrence. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line.
And Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down. If you're a fan of old-school physical football, that play was for you.
No doubt about it. That play was for anyone who likes football. He did everything properly on that one. Great contact, wrapped it up, unable to drive the ball free. The only disappointment on the play for him.
15 yards last play and 15 yards here this go-around. So the ball down to the
Dolphins are making us look really bad right about now.
Tua sets up to pass it. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Dolphins. Jalen Waddle, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Dolphins are able to stretch out their lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Now Jamal Agnew from his end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Jacksonville back on offense and ready to take over. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt, and it'll be Dolphin football. Miami's offense set and ready to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Tua now on 1st down. And he wisely will throw that one away. These offensive starters still out there in the 2nd quarter. You would think the plans for them to at least play into the 3rd quarter, if not all the way through it.
Yeah, it might go by feel. If they have a really good first drive to start the 3rd quarter, they might pull them after that. If not, might leave them out there a little bit longer, but I'll guarantee this, they'll be gone by the start.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. That's Foley Fadukasi who got in there and finished off the play.
But that's what they have to do more of defensively, not just getting sacks, but they have to keep getting in his face, not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that jersey. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again. Brought down by Trayvon Walker on the pass rush.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue, because you know after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Lawrence. Quick slant caught by Kirk. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
At the 16-yard line.
ETN up the middle. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play.
Sucks because just like in real life, Jaguars start to catch their groove just when it starts to not matter anymore.
Half of action. And the Dolphins beef up the secondary here as they look to stop them on 3rd down. Now Lawrence to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. The Dolphins do the job defensively there, and now it brings up 4th.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
Doug Peterson going to roll the dice here. They will go for it on 4th down. He's got the big tight end. That's Strange. And the Jags are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
What an excellent end result for them. But let's go back to the decision, first of all, to go for it all on 4th down. A lot of pressure on the quarterback's shoulders, but they knew he could handle it. Makes the right read there, gets the ball to his receiver.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Jaguars get a bit closer.
Now that's a Trevor Lawrence I remember coming out of college. Never afraid to tuck the ball and go. People were covered downfield. 2 scores as a rookie, 5 last year. He knows when it's time to take off and put it in the end zone.
McManus's point after is good. And that cuts this lead down to 13. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. Berrios going to bring this out of the end zone. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Miami set to take over. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short game.
Tua going to keep it on the draw. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the 1st half of play. And they'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the 1st. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. And that will be incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the 1st half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. The Jaguars ready to go on offense for the final time in this 1st half. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it. And we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side.
And coughed it up. But it looked like a Jaguar was able to cover this thing. And so Jacksonville will keep control.
Goddamn catastrophe almost happened with Travis fumbling right there.
As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Week 3 of the preseason is here. Everyone wrapping up their exhibition schedule. No games for the league on Labor Day weekend, and then it all begins. The 17-game regular season gets underway on the Thursday after Labor Day with the NFL kickoff game. In our game, expect to see the starters for at least one more drive. Something to look forward to as we get you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Our starters likely to be out there for the 3rd quarter as we get back underway in this 2nd half. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line can play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
A gain of 8 there on the play, and it'll be second in a couple. A-Chain on the counter. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. A-Chain gets it from the gun. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more. As we surmise, Charles, most of the starting units still out there for this 3rd quarter. First time this preseason that they played into the 2nd half.
And that's by design. Most of the time by this point of the preseason, you want them to go into the half, cool down, and then come back out and warm up to start the 3rd quarter like you would a regular season game. That's exactly what they wanted to get done. Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Just gave up an easy interception right there, but I'll take the deflection.
Step for step downfield of man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the 2. Incomplete.
Has been a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts. This time on 3rd down.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. On the return, here's Agnew. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it'll be Jaguar football as they take over deep in their own territory. They'll start on the ground. ETN. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now Lawrence. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. But he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. And Charles, for this offense,
That's on me. I hit the wrong button. Still trying to get used to this new passing system that they got. That is definitely on me.
We're thinking about ways to close this game out, and as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. After the turnover, it's Tua. And that'll be incomplete.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10. Right at the 30. They'll look to ETN to start things out. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect him to have more completions to him in this game.
Third and 2, now Lawrence. Flushed out right. And that is incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And we're going to get a timeout as they deal with an injured player, and it's Tyreek Hill who is the man that's in some discomfort right now. Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Meanwhile, Tua's throw is taken in by Waddle. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
They'll run for it with A-Chain. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. But now he appears to be in some pain.
2 back-to-back injuries to their main wide receivers. It's crazy.
Well, we'll take a break and come back. More preseason action in a moment. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Caught. It's Wilson. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down. Tua going to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on. 3rd down. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
Tua now on first down. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. On 3rd down, here's Gaskin. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. So on 4th down, Dolphin kicker Jason Sanders comes on. This will be, let's see, 38 yards out. The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. Now 3 more points tacked on, and this margin getting more comfortable by the minute.
And with the lead where it is, you can actually feel good about field goals. We talk all the time about scoring 6s, not 3s. But in this case, they're just looking to chew up some time and come away with points.
Taken at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Well, that's the 3rd interception for Lawrence. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And the Dolphins will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They'll start following the interception in great field position at the 45. They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down. Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Out of the gun on 3rd down, here's Tua. And this is going to be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
They'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
Draw play, Etienne. And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 44. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long.
There he goes, right side. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down.
Maybe Beathard needs to start over Lawrence.
39 yards.
And this is one of the toughest parts about being a defensive back. When a play breaks down like this, you're taught to plaster to a receiver. Find the nearest one and adhere yourself to it. But you can only stay with the receiver so long if the play continues to develop. He knows where he's going. You do not.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. To throw is Beathard. Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Luke Farrell from a yard out. And the Jaguars have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. Igbenogany going to take it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Dolphins offense returning to the field. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the
They leveled that one dude right off of the rip.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
On first down, it's White. He'll swing this out to Mostert. So no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. On 2nd down, Mostert. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from blocking.
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal. This to make it a 3-score game late. Sanders' kick is good, but now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about.
Foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these situations,
Icing on the cake. Goddamn. They're whooping our ass.
Not a good play.
Throwing on first down, White. That one to Swain, complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it in, throw it, go play action, and take your shot at the end zone.
And the Dolphins are going to have a 1st and goal forthcoming as he takes this down to about the 5-yard line. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Here's Mostert. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Raheem Mostert, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins have put this one to bed here in the 4th quarter. So the toss play effective, even down here near the goal line.
Yeah, and you're hoping the defense can miss too many men to stop the run in the middle of the field, and that your blockers can gain a little bit of an advantage. And when they do, foot race to the pylon, and this time he had the speed to win that race.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Claybrooks going to bring this one out. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Beathard. Escaping the pressure right. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. Well, I kind of got to give him credit. Another incompletion there, yes, but he's still trying to make plays outside the pocket.
Yeah, he's been hemmed in for much of the game. How about him getting outside there? And that's what you want to see from your quarterback. He's not giving up on this game, so every other player on the field has to say to himself, I can't give up either.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the 1st. To throw is Beathard, eluding the pressure right. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
And he'll find Washington. That's complete. Now, hang on here a second. Looks like a Jaguar in some obvious discomfort from that last play. Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Off the draw, here's Johnson. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection work.
Touchdown, Jaguars! Jamal Agnew, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Jaguars are able to cut into that deficit.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Coming up on the last couple minutes of the video. Pretty, that touchdown there made it not so bad of a loss. End up losing by 2 touchdowns. So we'll wrap up the preseason 1 and 2. But we got a good feeling about the team. It will have a pretty productive regular season, and hopefully we get deep into the playoffs and make a Super Bowl run. Appreciate you guys for stopping through. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more content coming soon. Peace.
1st and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. They'll start on the ground with Mostert. And he'll get what he can up the middle. 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down. You know, I was going to ask you if maybe they should surprise and pass the ball, but where they're at on the field, I think keep it on the ground, right?
I like where you're going with this one because field position is going to determine these play calls. And backed up where they are, I don't even think about putting the ball in the air. I tell my running backs, grasp the football, and I tell my offensive line, don't.
And now off to the races down the right side. And he will step out of bounds all the way down inside the 40. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. 5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on 1st down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 5.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
On 3rd down, here comes Mostert. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
Now, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it? How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. Well, partner, under the lights in prime time, this offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away with what will certainly be a memorable.
Well, to add a little bit more icing onto the pancake, they go and kick that little punk-ass field goal at the end of the game. So they go up 17. But we'll get it next time. On to the regular season. Appreciate you guys for stopping out. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.